97 years, 6 Black directors nominated for Best Director, 0 wins, 0, not 1. In the entire history of the Academy Awards, John Singleton did not win, Steve McQueen did not win, Barry Jenkins made Moonlight the Best Picture winner and did not win Best Director. Spike Lee has never won Best Director. Jordan Peele has never won Best Director. 97 years of Oscar history and not one Black filmmaker has ever stood at that podium and held that statue. 10 days from now, on March 15th at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, Ryan Coogler has a chance to be the first. He has 16 Oscar nominations, a record, more than any film in the history of the Academy. He beat Titanic, he beat La La Land, he beat All About Eve. 16 nominations, with a supernatural horror film set in 1930s Mississippi about the blues and black joy and black grief, and the thing that has always tried to take both away. And the question everyone in Hollywood is asking right now, the question that is genuinely too close to call with 10 days left, is whether this is finally the year the Academy corrects one of the longest and most glaring oversights in its nearly 100-year history. Let us break down every angle of this race right now, because this is the most important Oscar story of 2026. Okay, 3 things you are going to find out in this video. Number 1, the full case for Sinners winning Best Picture and Best Director on March 15th. The box office numbers, the awards trail, the Saggy upset, the one chart that Awards Daily built that has predicted every Best Picture winner correctly since 1995, and what it currently says about Sinners. Number 2, the full case for why Paul Thomas Anderson and One Battle After Another still might win, because PTA has won the DGA, the BAFTA, the Globes, the Critics' Choice, the Producers Guild. He has swept every major precursor. And in Oscar history, that combination has almost never lost. Number 3, Ryan Coogler's exact words to Variety about what a win would mean to him, and why what he said is the most honest and the most heartbreaking thing any Oscar nominee has said this entire award season. Subscribe right now. Oscars are March 15th. Let us get all the way into this. First, let us talk about what Sinners actually is, because if you have not seen this film, if you are only following it through the awards coverage, you need to understand why this is not just a movie that got nominated for a lot of things. This is a film that made people feel something they had not felt in a movie theater in years. Ryan Coogler wrote and directed Sinners. It stars Michael B. Jordan in a dual role, twin brothers named Smoke and Stack, returning to the Mississippi Delta in 1932 after years away. They come home with money, with plans, with the idea that they can build something for themselves and their community in a place that has spent generations taking everything from people who look like them. And then vampires attack. On a Friday night, during a juke joint, during the blues. That description sounds simple. The film is anything but, because the vampires and sinners are not just monsters. They are a metaphor for everything that has always preyed on Black joy in America. The music, the community, the specific kind of collective aliveness that Black people built in the South against every force that was trying to extinguish it. The vampires want that. They are drawn to it. And the film asks the question, what do you do when the thing that gives your people life is also the thing that makes you a target? Coogler has said the blues is at the center of everything. He grew up listening to his uncle's record collection. He said his uncle introduced him to the music that became the spine of this story. And when his uncle died of terminal cancer while Coogler was editing Creed, he carried that grief for nearly a decade. And then he poured all of it into Sinners. The film made $280 million domestically, the highest-grossing film in the entire Best Picture lineup. It debuted at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Awards Daily described it as catching on like wildfire, the way a film hits when it is genuinely being discovered by audiences rather than being pushed at them. And it did all of that without a franchise, without a sequel, without existing IP, without a superhero suit, just Ryan Coogler, a story, and 16 Oscar nominations. But wait, Because here is where the race gets complicated, and this is the part that anyone watching this Oscar story needs to understand before March 15th. Stay with me. Paul Thomas Anderson made One Battle After Another, a film about a father and daughter navigating the rise of fascism in America. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio. It has won everything that Sinners has not won. The Directors Guild Award, the single strongest predictor of Best Director at the Oscars, went to Paul Thomas Anderson. The DGA winner has gone on to win Best Director at the Oscars in 72 out of the last 77 years. That is a 93% accuracy rate. PTA won it. The Producers Guild Award, the strongest predictor of Best Picture, also went to One Battle After Another. The PGA has predicted the Oscar Best Picture winner correctly in 23 out of the last 28 years. Paul Thomas Anderson also won the BAFTA for directing, the Golden Globe for directing, the Critics' Choice for directing. He has swept every major precursor category for Best Director. In Oscar history, a director who wins DGA, BAFTA, Globes, and Critics' Choice almost never loses. Almost never. Because here is the stat that is breaking every prediction model right now. Sinners won the SAG Award for Outstanding Ensemble, which is the closest thing the Screen Actors Guild gives to a Best Picture vote. And since 1995, every film that has won both the SAG Ensemble and the Ace Eddie Award for editing has gone on to win Best Picture at the Oscars. Every single one. Sinners won the SAG Ensemble. Sinners won the Ace Eddie. It is the only film this year that can claim both. And on the same night that Sinners won the SAG Ensemble, Michael B. Jordan won Best Male Actor, upsetting Timothée Chalamet. And the energy in that room when Jordan's name was read, the standing ovation, the look between Jordan and Delroy Lindo, the feeling that this was a moment and not just a result, that energy does not disappear. It follows a film into the Oscar vote. Awards Daily built a chart. They said since 1995, no film that has won the SAG Ensemble and the Ace Eddie has lost Best Picture. Nobody is betting against that chart lightly. So here is where the race actually stands 10 days out. Best Director is Paul Thomas Anderson's to lose. The DGA is too strong, the BAFTA is too strong, the precursor sweep is too complete. If you are betting, you bet PTA. Best Picture is genuinely a coin flip. The PGA points to One Battle After Another. The SAG and Eddie point to Sinners. The preferential ballot, which is how Best Picture is voted at the Oscars, favors films with broad, passionate support over films with concentrated critical love. And Sinners has more passionate supporters than any film in this race. Best Actor is the closest race of the night. Timothée Chalamet won the BAFTA. Michael B. Jordan won the SAG. Both have legitimate paths. And the man who gave one of the most emotional award season speeches of the decade, dedicating his NAACP win to Chadwick Boseman, saying, "I love being black," after getting a racial slur shouted at him from the BAFTA audience, is the sentimental pick in a way that the Academy sometimes cannot resist. Okay, I need you to focus right now, because this is the part I have been building to the entire video. And it is the most important thing you are going to hear about Ryan Coogler this award season. Variety asked him what a win would mean, and he paused. And then he said, "My award is the opportunity to have this job, the opportunity to go write a script, get a crew together, hire union jobs, contribute to people's health care, insurance, and their families." He did not say it would mean everything. He did not say he had been waiting his whole career for this. He said the award is the job. But then, unprompted, he talked about the statistics, about the 97 years, about the 6 black directors before him who never won. And he said something that is going to stay with me long after March 15th, regardless of what happens. He said, "The biggest danger is that something like that can dampen your hope, make you disillusioned, or feel like what you do is not worth it. I try to protect my love for what I do. If I know statistics are going to make me feel sad, I do not think about them." He is protecting his love for filmmaking from the weight of a history that has never fully acknowledged him. He is choosing to live in the job, in the work, in the crew, in the healthcare and the union wages and the stories, rather than in the 97 years of absence that preceded this moment. That is not just a strategy for staying sane during awards season. That is a philosophy for surviving as a Black artist in an industry that has spent nearly a century telling you that your work is worthy of everything except the ultimate recognition. And a Black AMPES member told Variety something that I think says everything about what March 15th means beyond Ryan Coogler himself. They said, "The Academy is about to turn 100. I, like many of my cohorts, have all dreamed about being the first to stand on that stage. If we get to the 100th year and no Black person has stood there, what does that say? You are telling me nobody was worthy during that time? Nobody? This is the opportunity to do it for a worthy artist who happens to be Black, but is also unequivocally Black. The Academy turns 100 next year. Ryan Coogler is standing at its door with 16 nominations. With a record. With 15 major awards from the two biggest non-Oscar ceremonies of the season. With a film that made $280 million and changed something in the culture that does not change back, and with the full weight of 97 years of absence behind him. Here is my hot take, and this is the one that I want you to really engage with in the comments. Paul Thomas Anderson is one of the greatest filmmakers alive. There Will Be Blood is one of the greatest films ever made. He has never won the Oscar for directing. He is overdue. He has swept the precursors. The DGA stat is real and it is powerful, and if he wins, it will not be wrong. It will be a deserved recognition of one of the best writer-directors of his generation. But here is what I believe. The Oscars have been building to a Ryan Coogler moment for years. Fruitvale Station told them who he was. Creed showed them he could honor legacy while making something entirely his own. Black Panther proved he could carry the weight of a cultural moment and deliver. And Sinners, the most purely personal, most purely original, most purely him film he has ever made, arrived with 16 nominations and a box office number and an energy in the room that nobody had built a formula to predict. If Sinners wins Best Picture on March 15th, Ryan Coogler will have made the first horror film to win Best Picture since Silence of the Lambs in 1992, the first film with a Black director to win Best Picture since 12 Years a Slave in 2013, and the first time in 97 years that the word winner and the words Black director appear in the same sentence about the Academy Award for Best Director. That is not just an Oscar. That is a statement from an institution that is about to turn 100 about who was always worthy, about who was always there, about who the Academy finally chose to see. Comment below right now. Are you riding with Sinners on March 15th? Or do you think the DGA stat is too strong and Paul Thomas Anderson takes it home? And if Sinners wins Best Picture but Coogler loses Best Director, how does the internet react to that? Drop every prediction below. I am reading every single one before March 15th. All right, let us close this out. 3 things to remember going into March 15th. 1. 16 Oscar nominations. A record. More than Titanic. More than La La Land. More than any film in the history of the Academy. Sinners holds that record. Ryan Coogler built that record. On a supernatural horror film about the blues that he made because his uncle died and he needed somewhere to put the grief. 2. Paul Thomas Anderson won the DGA, PGA, BAFTA, Globes, and Critics' Choice. The precursor sweep is real and it is powerful, but Sinners won the SAG Ensemble and the Ace Eddie, and since 1995 that combination has never lost Best Picture. 3. Ryan Coogler told Variety his award is the opportunity to have the job, and then he said he protects his love for filmmaking from statistics that might make him feel sad. He is standing at the door of 97 years of history, and he is protecting his joy on the way in. The 98th Academy Awards ceremony is March 15, 2026, live at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, hosted by Conan O'Brien. Full reaction and results video goes up the second the show ends. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. March 15th is going to be one of the most significant nights in Oscar history. You do not want to watch it alone. I will see you then.